Well, all right. Welcome to another edition of Walt's World Podcast with the All-American Walter Luckett talking NBA today. We haven't talked to y'all in the last two games, so we're going to be covering both games, and then we're going to, get our little opinions on what's going to happen tonight. Walt, what's happening, brother?
Oh, it's just fantastic. NBA is fantastic, and I think it's a great time to really talk about uh, where we're going in the next two games. It's going to be pretty exciting because they're going to Milwaukee now. So I think you'll see a difference, hopefully, in coaching strategy. And I think today we're going to put our coaching hats on as well.
All right. So let's first game 118 to 105. The Suns won in Phoenix. Tell me, what do you think about this game? What did you think about this game?
Well, first of all, I think that when you think about the teams and how they're paired off, Milwaukee's a big team. They got big guards, they got big forwards, and they got an awesome center, and they're not even utilizing their size. So what's happening is that I think coaching is really taking a precedence here. And I have to admit, Monty Williams is really, really doing a great job. He's using speed against height.
Well, in that first game, look at the line. Okay, you had the Greek freak Giannis with 20 points. Brook Lopez scored 17 points, had 6 rebounds. Chris Middleton scored 29 points. Drew Holiday scored 10. Okay, Bobby Portis with 5. Pat Connaughton came in with 8. So even though they lost that game, they were looking to the inside in that game. Okay, and Giannis was his first game back, so everybody felt like, okay, we can't expect a whole lot from him. However, right, if you look on the Sun side, okay, you had Chris Paul with 32 again, DeAndre Ayton with 22. All right, so I mean, and what? Who else? Devin Booker with 27. So they matched them, right? They played an all-around game. They matched them. And, of course, Chris Paul took over the game. He had 9 assists. And see, this is what I look at, right? When you're a point guard, I'm not looking at the 32 points. I'm looking at the 9 assists so think about it. That's 18 points plus 32 points that he was involved with. In addition to that, he got 4 rebounds, okay? Now, on the other side, DeAndre Ayton got 19 rebounds, bro.
And that's exactly where I was going. That's where I was going, Juan, in terms of, the big should have been out rebounding a smaller team. But let's think about it. The big guys are out there at the three-point line, and they're not there in position to rebound. Now, you say Giannis got 20 points, but he was controlling the game and controlling the ball. There was no ball movement. When you compare it to Phoenix, there's balanced scoring. There's team play. The ball's being moved around. They're utilizing the bigs when necessary. The guards are shooting the threes when it's necessary. But Milwaukee does not move until the big freak moves. And I think that's holding them back. And Lopez, who I think is really an unsung hero here, is not being utilized.
Well, let's go to the second game. Okay, here we go. So Giannis got better. His leg got better. His brother was right there, egging him on, and his brother, and he scores 42 points in the last game. Brook Lopez scores 8 points. Chris Middleton scores 11 points, and Drew Holiday scores 17. But I don't even remember those 17s, right? And Pat Connaughton scored 14. Now, let's look at the Sun side, okay? You got Devin Booker with 31, Chris Paul with 23, Mikal Bridges with 27. Yeah. Devin Booker, 31 points, man. All right.
Yeah, it's remarkable. That well-balanced scoring. The ball's moved well. They give the ball to the guy who is hot. And believe it or not, they have a trust factor within their team. They trust that whoever they give the ball to is going to score. I don't sense that with Milwaukee. It's like if the Greek freak doesn't give you the ball, then, there's no blessings there. So that's where I think they need to really sit down. The coaching staff needs to sit down and say, you know what? Our strength is underneath the basket. We got to figure out how we're going to get Lopez into the game. Also, believe it or not, the guards are bigger on the Milwaukee side, you can even post them down. And when the Greek Freak's not in, Middleton and Holiday, they have a field day. So I don't understand what the coach is doing. I know Giannis might be difficult to coach when he's going coast to coast and scoring 42 points. But at the end of the day, the other teams, there's no balanced scoring. So they have to sit down and figure out how we're going to play as a team and win this here NBA championship.
What did I say to you? I said All-American Walter Luckett. I said Milwaukee is not good with Giannis. They got a better chance of winning the damn championship without him because that team plays better without him.
Yes, they do.
I'm serious. You know what? People might think I'm crazy, but I'm serious.
You're absolutely right. It's a team game, and then when you get to the championship level, when you think about the Lakers and the Celtics, when they won championships, it was a collective effort. Even though you had superstars on the team, even the superstars realized they can't win it alone.
Look, what happens when you in the bull ring? Now, I hate to talk about bull ring because I'm a Taurus and I love bulls, and I hate what they do to those bulls, right? But okay, so the bull stands over there, he gets ready, and then and then he rushes to the bullfighter. The bullfighter puts up red. The bull goes through it, right? That's what's going on with Giannis.
I know.
The Phoenix Suns say, okay, either what you want to be a bull, we're gonna stand back here and let you rush up like a bull out of hell, right? Say,
right.
And we're gonna let you keep doing that. Now, you're gonna score some of those. You're gonna score 42 points, right? But every time you do that, everybody else on your team is standing around.
And also, Juan, and not to cut you off, my friend, let's talk about he spends a lot of time on the foul line. So what does that tell you? If he spends the majority of time on the foul line, which he's shooting only 50%, so he's probably making 1 out of every 2 shots, right? And then you compare that to the Phoenix Suns, they're shooting 2s and 3s, and they're shooting a higher percentage. Who's going to win?
Let me give you some stats, okay? So in the last game, Giannis scored 42 points. He had 4 assists, man, right? Wow. Chris Middleton had 8 assists. Drew Holiday had 7 assists. Now, Drew Holiday is your point guard.
Yes.
And he don't have the ball in his hands. Because Giannis, as soon as the ball comes over, either he dribbles it all the way up.
Exactly.
Or Drew Holiday brings it up and hands it over to him. And after you hand it over to him, it's like a black hole. The ball ain't coming back to you. You know what I'm saying? Now, do you really believe that this coach, Mr. B, is going to do something about this? What's he going to do?
He better do some explaining, because I tell you right now, let's face it, basketball 101, you got a 7-footer and he's at the top of the key. He's out of position. I don't care what anybody tells you. A 7-footer belongs underneath the basket. Now that might sound like old-fashioned basketball, but down low, every time he's down low, they can't stop him. Or even if he gets fouled. But how are you going to win with a 7-footer being the first option at the top of the key with nobody underneath rebounding, and the other 7-footers out there in the corner? So there's something wrong there with the coaching, as far as
Hakeem Olajuwon used to take a jump shot from the corner every once in a while, but 90% of the time, Kenny Smith and them were giving him the ball down low.
And then there's the drop step.
Then it was a drop step, or he was able to pass it back out.
So they can shoot it, and he has great shooters, Giannis. He has great shooters. Middleton is automatic.
Yes. But you know what?
Look at him.
But you know something? I believe that it's a psychological thing. I think that them guys went out there and played a game without him, right? And even when he came back, because he was laid back some, they got a chance to play their game. Absolutely. And then he comes back, and now they don't have the ball anymore. That's a psychological thing, man. They're thinking in their minds, how are we gonna win? How are they gonna feel good about trying to win this championship if they feel like as long as this guy keeps the ball in his hands, we're not going to win.
And also want to expound on that. Just think about it. He does have a great attitude about playing basketball, and it's hard probably to approach a guy like him. He really has a really good attitude about winning, but he doesn't know how to win. That's where coaching comes in. See, he has all the abilities and all the talent to win ball games, but they're not channeling it in the right way. So therefore, he's freelancing out there. He's out there expressing his love for the game, his love for teammates, but he's ruining them by his play. So somebody has to supervise that and get it under control so that they can get into a position of strength. And right now, it's kind of disorientated right now.
Okay, so let's discuss this because I'm a defense guy, right?
Yeah.
All right, so this is what this is what Phoenix is doing. They're bringing the ball up court, and they're picking at the top, and they are setting up mismatches, right? What they're doing is that they are making sure that either Chris or Booker got a big on them. And then they're taking advantage of the big with the dribble and all of that, making them look stupid.
And also they're drawing the bigs to them, and then they're lobbing into Ayton.
Yes.
And
so
that's smart basketball.
So this is my take on it, right? First of all, I don't believe in switching. I believe that if you're gonna teach your team defense, you tell them, look, this is the guy you're guarding at the beginning of the game, right? That's your responsibility. If you switch and that person scores, you're responsible for that because you're supposed to be fighting around the pick. Milwaukee's not fighting around the pick.
That's interesting too. Again, that's coaching.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what, Juan? At the end of the day, you and I, and it's unfortunate, you don't like to talk about anybody's job. But with the talent that he has right now, it's pretty obvious when you got 7-footers and you got guards at average height of 6'4.5", 6'5", and you're not playing big basketball, you gotta look at the coach.
Now, I want to also make another statement around maybe he's listening. I hope that he's listening. Probably not, but the thing is this, right? If Milwaukee swings the ball around the horn and everybody touches the ball, number one, there's something to be said about basketball players have at least touching the ball, man.
Oh, no question.
Even if you passed it back out again, you touched it. It feels good. You feel that leather in your hand. You understand what I'm saying? You feel like you're a part of the game, right?
That's right.
So now I have not seen yet all season, to be honest with you, right? If Giannis gets the ball while the ball is moving, because you know what? As great as he is, if he could score 70 points, if the ball went around the horn, and when he got the ball, the defense was moving because now he's quick. He's got that big Euro step.
Right.
He could score 70 points, man.
It works to his advantage if he did move the ball.
Exactly. Instead of like rushing in there like a bull out of hell.
and you know what? And also too, a smart team, and I think they're playing a smart team. You can foul him. And now, now, he has the whole crowd counting to 10 when he's on the foul line now. So he has some hard times ahead. And most important, if you have the ball all the time and you're not a good foul shooter, well, the objective is to foul him.
It's interesting because there's a lot of backstories here, right? You're talking about Chris Paul never been to the championship, hasn't never won a championship. Be nice for him to get it. You made a good point about the Greek Freak. He's a nice guy. He living a good life, right? You never hear anything negative about him. He works out. He respects the game. Sportsmanship. You don't ever hear him talking bad about anybody. Never, doesn't get too many technicals. I mean, you don't get a lot of technicals either, right? So you respect all of that. Yeah. And I would love to see him win something, right? Because you know, he's a good brother,
And
right?
he represents the NBA well.
Yes, he does, right? However, right? Uh, like you said, somebody has got to be able to mentor him to understand that he's not going to win any championships unless he plays on a team where it's about team ball. And he could score 25, 30 points and win. You could score 25 to 30 points and win. Okay.
Michael's done it for 6 championships.
Exactly. And Kobe and, you know, and Shaq and Kareem, you know, the bottom line is this, is that a balanced attack is going to, number one, keep the other team unbalanced, right? But it's also, you talk about this all the time. You gotta keep your bigs happy.
No question.
You know,
no
they're
question
not gonna we was talking about it at the barbershop today. Hey, big up the Madge and everybody at the barbershop. Look, if you ain't giving me the ball, why am I running up and down the court and why am I getting all backed up on the inside if you ain't giving me the ball?
Because if you give him the ball, then there is an appreciation that's shown.
Yes.
And if a big guy don't think that you're appreciating his hard work underneath the basket, there's going to be some dissension. It could be quiet. It may be subtle, but it'll show up overall as a team. So I think, to your point and our point that we've been trying to reinforce, is that, again, going back, and I hate to go against the coach because he's been doing a wonderful job in Milwaukee, but you got to know your talent. You got to know your strengths and your weaknesses. And right now, the weakness, believe it or not, is the big guys shooting threes, and you got the guys who can shoot the threes. They're not even into the play. Right. So you have to figure that out, and I think you had a solution. Let everybody get a touch before you go to the basket. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, you know, I mean, and I gotta say this, right? I mean, everybody's calling Giannis a superstar, right? Okay, you know, you want to discuss what a superstar is, right? But I gotta tell you this, right? I see a superstar, somebody that can do everything. You an all-star, but you can't shoot foul shots, or but you end up scoring 30 something. Okay, all right. You know what I mean? You ain't really got a good outside shot. You know, you drive into the basket. You're good. You're good on the fast break. You know, you're good at all of that. Okay, you're not a superstar though, right? Now, I think a superstar could do everything. You could shoot from the outside very well. You can shoot foul shots. At least give me 75% from the foul line. I'm good. 75%. I'm good. All right. I can live with that. Yeah. I can live with that. You know, if you got a great jump shot and if you can drive to the basket real good. Now, if you're a little shaky on that end, then you got to give me 90% at the foul shot on the foul line now, right? Okay. So look at this guy. You know, as I'm watching the game, I'm saying to myself, give him the shot. When he's standing out there,
let him take it.
Let him take the shot. I can live. Let him take the shot, and then also, if he drives, I'm gonna foul him.
Or there is a chance, and he has proven he turns the ball over too.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
When a good defensive coach will say, let him drive and we'll trap him, and he might even try to kick it out. And I don't know if you noticed, a couple of times he did, and they intercepted the ball.
True. Now I'm going to tell you something else, right? On the other end, right? If you notice all season long, Milwaukee was real good on the fast break because they got him on a fast break. You can't stop that guy, right? So in order for you to get the fast break going, you got to play good defense and get the rebound and go to the basket. That ain't happening. Why? Because Phoenix is scoring every time.
Well, that's true. Well, look at it. Aiken was scoring over 75%, right?
Exactly.
His field goal percentage has been off the chart.
Crazy.
You ever heard of shooting over 75% in NBA playoffs? He's a guy that I believe is destined for superstardom. You know why? Because he does that. They're playing to his strength. And that's what Milwaukee needs to do, because no question about it, Milwaukee's a better team on paper. I hate to say it, they're much better on paper. I'm gonna tell you, Holiday and Middleton, those guys are proficient, they're
Yep.
excellent guards, and they're not being utilized. So
No.
Juan, I hate to be beating Milwaukee up because I love my boy Vin Baker.
Of
You know,
course.
he's the
Big up
assistant
the
coach
Vin.
there. I know he's working real hard with
Big up
Giannis.
the CT.
And you know he's doing a great job, and I hope he goes further with the team. But you know the players have to be receptive to team play. Now you know Giannis has phenomenal talent. He's been the MVP for the last 2 years. That might be a problem right now to sit down and say, "Hey, calm down. We need you now to be a teammate because the last 2 years you were individual, but this is not an individual game. If you're getting to the level of NBA championship, that's hard to swallow when you're a guy who everybody's saying you're phenomenal, you're a phenom, and you know you're going to be the greatest thing next to Michael Jordan. But that ain't happening. You want to know why? Because you haven't won a championship yet. He does not have a championship experience or pedigree. So that's what the problem is, Juan. How do you get a guy with that talent to understand, okay, you've made a lot of accomplishments, but your biggest accomplishment is getting your team to play together as a team and to win an NBA championship.
And you know, and I gotta say this, right? I mean, the reality of it all is that they've been up against the wall, and this is the problem right now, right? It's like they're depending on Phoenix not playing well in order for them to win. That's not how you win.
You're right.
Right? I mean, because it's like everybody's talking about, well, you know, they was down 2 to the Nets. Well, there was a big injury that jumped off for that, right? There was a big, you know. So I mean, the reality of it all is that, you know, what's got to happen is that you got to forget about the fact that you did it before, because and that you're hoping that they're not going to play as good. You got to change your game, because see, they've never changed their game. They've always, the other team has not played up to their potential, and they've been winning that. And you could win that way.
Yeah. And also, too, Juan, I don't know if you heard the interview. Even CP3 said, you know what? I'm slowing the guys up. Even he recognized that. To me, that's a sign of intelligence on the court. Now, he says, I got to speed it up. I got to catch up, you know? And I like that. And he's playing phenomenal basketball. But to acknowledge the fact that these young guys have a certain rhythm, and he's the star of the team. And he's saying, I got to fit into that rhythm. I'm trying my best, because I don't know if you know, sometimes they take him out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if you noticed that. CP3 goes and sits down for a minute, and he probably reviews what's going on that outside on that court. He said, well, you know what? Now I see it. So I like intelligent basketball, Juan. You know, we all have had the experience of playing basketball, but we should always recognize that we could always do better, and we can learn more about the game.
Yeah. So 2-zip.
Milwaukee will win tonight, probably. Hopefully, I hope they're listening, because I tell you right now, if they lose tonight, it's all over. It's game over.
You don't think it's over now?
No, I think they'll win tonight, because I think the crowd will add an extra 10 points, and I also think the town of Milwaukee is going to cheat.
so let me ask you this: you started off the series saying that Milwaukee was going to win the series, so you think Milwaukee was going to win 4 games in a row?
I don't know. It's going to be tough. It's hard to say they're going to win 4 in a row, but I think they'll win tonight. One game at a time, as Ben would say. And you know, the thing is that you know, the fans in Milwaukee. Did you see 20,000 sitting outside the arena? That's going to play a factor right now. I think it's going to be a little different tonight. Hopefully, you know, they'll win 2 games, and then they'll go. I don't know if they can win 4 straight. I don't know how you could beat a team like Phoenix 4 games in a row. That's going to be tough.
Yeah, well, I mean, let me say this: I'm still going with Phoenix. You know, and also, and listen, I'm changing my attitude. I've been saying some bad things about the Greek. I don't like his game. I still don't like his game. I mean, you know, but I really respect, you know, his character, and I respect, you know, that he really, really, you know, respects the game. Right? I think that this summer, besides lifting weights and whatever else he does, somebody needs to go over there and work with this dude on the foul line, and just learn how to shoot the 10-footers. Forget about the three. Shoot this. Look, the way that you play. If you develop a 10-footer, you're a superstar.
But Juan, look at it this way: Holiday and Middleton, those guys, they are excellent percentage shooters,
Yep.
and and they can score. Them guys are
Yep.
scorers. They
Yep.
can
Yep.
really put the
Yep.
ball in the basket, and they're probably a little hesitant when the big freak got the ball in his hands. And don't get me wrong, I think the Greek freak is great for basketball, and I don't want to be taken the wrong way that I don't appreciate his talent and his
Of course.
ability, because I
Of
think he
course.
brings a great excitement to the game. But it takes more than that, for a team,
Yeah.
to win the big
Yeah.
ticket. And that's what basketball is all about. Basketball also there's a big word about basketball that a lot of people don't realize: sacrifice.
Yeah.
It's a big word. Are you willing to sacrifice for the team? Because if
Yeah.
you're at the NBA level, so you're getting paid handsomely, so that's not the issue. So
Right.
what would your priority be if you're an NBA player? It would be to stay employed. And how do you stay employed? By being a good employee.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
hey, look, Tom Brady sacrificed money all these years so he
Mhm.
can have the right team around him. That's why he won all those championships.
And look what happened now. He goes to another team that goes to show you. And also, I think he offered to have one of the players stay at his house while they were
Exactly.
trans-
Yeah. Antonio Brown. Yeah.
Whether you like Tom Brady or not, he
Yeah.
does the right thing for his team.
Absolutely.
And that's what basketball or sports is all about. Are you willing to make the sacrifice for your ball club?
Well, listen, man. You know the 3-on-3 basketball is coming. Ice Cube, right?
Yeah, I know.
You like that? Do you like it?
Well, they got some of the old timers that are playing in it.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So if you're an old timer, and I think there's some money involved too, so why not? And let's say you might play 3 or 4 years in the league, and you always got new talent in there. Hey, I think it's a great option for you to say, hey, I'm not retired yet. It's like having a little
Well,
part-time job.
Well, I got some people that telling me that they really like what we're doing. So maybe we could do some shows on the 3-on-3. That would be kind of
I
nice.
think it'd be exciting because there'll be some old cronies there that are playing some good basketball.
There you go, brother. There you go. All right, man. Well, listen, man. I'll talk to you on Monday. We're gonna review the third game and see what happened. And hey, I got the All-American Walt's World Podcast with Walt the Luckett, of course. My brother, have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday.
Have a blessed one, my brother.
My brother.